Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. As you can see, we're in a little different location, and I'll tell you where we're at in just a moment and tell you why I'm here. But I do want to share a verse with you and relate it to the surroundings that are around us as we continue another one of our daily devotions. Today is May the 14th, and that is Abby's birthday. And so Abby turned 21 today, and one of the things that she likes to do is go for a hike. So after being at the building for a little while this morning, she wanted to go for a hike. Fortunately for me, they chose a short hike, and so I was able to come with them. And so that's where we are. We're just out in the mountains up on what they call Flat Rock. I've never been here before, but I want to share something with you. The Bible says in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it talks about the fact that there are seasons of life. And if you read that whole passage, it talks about a time to be born and a time to die, a time of weeping and a time of rejoicing and a time to plant, a time to pluck up. And it talks about the parallels of life. And there's some great lessons in there. And so today we've been reflecting a little bit about Abby and childhood and raising children and the different seasons of life. And so we've been thinking about that. And then also we've been driving around and we're watching. One of my favorite things to do is, I call it this way, the mountains are coming to life. And so as we think about springtime, and it's finally warmed up this week, we're watching that, and I'll show you some new greenery in just a moment, as you can see around the mountains. As I think about the seasons of life, but the next verse goes on, or the rest of that verse goes on, to talk about that there is a purpose. So not only is there a seasons of life, but the Bible says there's a time and a purpose that God has for it. And so as I'm challenging myself, and as I've challenged you the last few days, as we think about this season of life that we've gone into and that we're in and, Lord willing, coming out of, I want to remind you that life has seasons. But the bigger picture is not just that life has seasons, is that God has a purpose for every season. So I'm asking the Lord, what is the purpose for this season of life? As we think about the things that we've gone through as a nation and as a world and continuing to go through. But the question is this, not just how long does this season last, but what is God's purpose? And so what I want to challenge you with is different seasons of life, wherever you are as a family, to make the most of that season, to make the most of that point you are in your life. But more importantly than that, find out what is God's purpose in this season. Now, I'm sitting on a rock, and if you can look around and you can see the beautiful, matter of fact, Grandfather Mountain is behind me, and Linville Ridge and the golf course is down there below me. But one of the things I want you to see as you look out through there is you see the top of the mountain still brown. Down in the valley, it's beautiful green, and as you climb up there you'll see some new growth. And that new growth is that beautiful green color this time of year. And as the mountains, I said to you a moment ago, as the mountains come back to life, as we are thinking about this, our world reopening and things reopening, I hope that there's new growth and new life in me, that I haven't missed this season of life and missed God's purpose in this season. So make the most of each season, but more importantly than that, look for God's purpose in each season of life.